All right, today we're going to talk about weighted vest cardio, plate carrier cardio, and rucking. Who should use either one, which goals apply to either one, how to appropriately do either one. And then I'm also going to give you my recommendations for, what plate carrier I use or I would recommend, what weights you should use, all of that. So first off, rucking. Rucking, putting on a big rucksack. This is typically what you see with the military. This can range anywhere from 40 pounds on up, sometimes even lighter, but typically a rucksack is going to be, a big backpack or an actual military grade rucksack that's usually going to be loaded with at least 40 pounds. A lot of times you see 65 pounds, and then many times you'll even see north of 80 pounds for the load with this. Now, the goals with rucksacking is typically reserved for those doing ruck events, so ruck challenges, or those in the military or trying to get into a certain military school. So a lot of times special operations, things like that. You'll need to do plenty of ruck work if you're trying to do an event that, obviously has a lot of specific rucking in it. So with this is going to be one that's going to be fairly taxing on the body just because of the weight load. Plus, it's how it sits on the body. So we're going to compare this in a second to like weighted vest or plate carrier cardio in a second. This is what I would recommend you reserving specifically if you are, in the military. You're trying to get into one of those specific military schools that needs a lot of ruck work, or you have a specific ruck challenge. I believe for most people out there, most physique goals, strength goals, endurance goals, rucking's not going to be your best option. Now, if you want to throw it in once a week, especially have it as kind of a unique endurance modality for you, you can absolutely do that. This is also going to help you out if you are into, a lot of hiking work, climbing, stuff where you would, be on the trail and take a large load on your back. But the thing with rucking is this is going to be very specific to doing that work. So how to do rucking is, you obviously need to get a rucksack or a backpack that you can load up. So one that you can put in, at least 40 pounds on up. And with this, I would recommend limiting this work to once to twice a week. Sometimes when I'm coaching a client that is trying to go through, say, Army Special Forces school, where the entire time they've got a rucksack on their back, usually 65 pounds and up, we'll throw in a little bit more rucking. But for the vast majority of people, 1 to 2 times per week is going to be more than sufficient. And with this, I would recommend either A, staying at the top end of zone 2, or if you have a certain event you're training for, and you have certain pace goals, you need to go off of that. But for most of it, I would recommend staying at the top end of zone 2, maybe even sometimes bottom end of zone 3, depending on the load and the work type you're doing with that. If you don't have, let's say you're not in the military, you don't have a military rucksack, you can easily go to like an Army surplus store. They've usually got a ton. You can order one online, or you can get like a regular hiking backpack and do this as well. So with this, I recommend rucking specifically for people that have very specific ruck goals. So that leads us into weighted vest, plate carrier cardio. Y'all know I've talked a lot about this. This is my favorite form of cardio. It's what I do almost on a daily basis for my zone 2 work. A lot of times I'll do plate carrier runs, or I'll do what I'm doing right now and walking my dog on a hike. And we just get in zone 2 and just do a good hike that can be, anywhere from, 4 miles on up. And this is my all-time favorite form of cardio. And it's my favorite form of cardio for strength athletes and people that want to kind of get out of the gym and the typical kind of stationary bike, Stairmaster, or give even an alternative to running. The thing is, and why I recommend plate carrier cardio or weighted vest cardio over something like rucking is, the reason I recommend rucking only be for those specifically doing ruck events or in the military is, guys, all my veterans out there, y'all know, rucking beats you up. So it beats your back up and it really beats your knees up. I'll throw on the ruck every once in a while, really load it up. And every time I do, I feel it a little bit. So from a fatigue standpoint, it's not going to be as conducive to having other goals in mind. So, a lot of you on this channel have big strength goals or physique goals. It's going to drive up a lot of fatigue, rucking that is. Plate carrier cardio, while it's typically going to be lighter weight than a rucksack, you can still load this thing up. And it's going to drive up fatigue at a much less rate. The great thing is, since it fits tight to the body, I can even sometimes do runs in these. Sometimes I do my runs in this plate carrier, and for my, zone 3 work, typically I don't do zone 4 with this, but my zone 3 work or top end of zone 2, I'll do like a run, jog, walk strategy, or, do what I'm doing now. Point is, this is going to be great for pretty much anybody. And you'll see weighted vests go anywhere from about 25 pounds on up to about 45 pounds. I'm using a 45 pound plate carrier. I believe it's 44 pounds to be specific. The great thing with this type of cardio is you can get out, get a bunch of steps in, get a lot of zone 2 work in, true zone 2. A lot of times, guys, people are doing so much zone 3 work, whether they're out running or whatever, that they're, it's not really conducive to their goals as much as they think. The zone 3 isn't useless. There's time and place for it, but it is kind of the gray zone. You're not going to get as good of bang for your buck from a cardiovascular standpoint than zone 2 or zone 4. So that's where plate carrier is so great for getting out. You don't have to do a crazy fast pace, and you're going to be at the mid-range to top end of zone 2. So I love plate carrier cardio, weighted vest cardio. Come on, baby, this way. What I recommend for it, get you a plate carrier weighted vest. That's going to allow you to get into zone 2 at least. So, for some people, if you're older, that might be more a lighter weight vest, so something like 25 pounds. Me personally, I've had this 5'11" plate carrier, 44 pound plate carrier for about 7-8 years now, and this thing has held up beautifully. I know a lot of people for some reason don't like 5'11" plate carriers, and I get a comment on it all the time. I can't recommend this plate carrier enough. I love this plate carrier, and I use it almost on a daily basis, and it's done a fantastic job at holding up. It fits incredibly well. It's a little bit on the price end, but if you're going to use it even a third as much as me, it's going to more than pay off. So my point is with it, to kind of wrap up, rucking, great cardio modality, but it's very specific for doing ruck work. So military, those training for ruck events, you're doing hiking, where you're going to be, camping, you want to have that load on your back. It's very specific to training with a load on your back. Plate carrier cardio, weighted vest cardio is still going to simulate that a little bit. If I go from doing a lot of plate carrier cardio to throwing on the ruck all of a sudden, I have great functionality and fitness for carrying the ruck. Every once in a while, I'll go ahead and throw on a 65 pound plus rucksack and do a good ruck. And the plate carrier, being 45 pounds, is still giving me decent load. It just fits a little different. And that's the thing with it. It's going to fit great for kind of everyday use. You using this as your main form of cardio, getting steps in. For all my bodybuilders out there, power lifters, strongmen, or just those of you that, have kind of strength endurance goals. You want to have a different cardio modality than just running or cycling or rowing, something that gets you outside, but you're not kind of pounding yourself into a pulp all the time, plate carrier cardio, weighted vest cardio is what I'd recommend. So like I said, I highly recommend the 511 plate carrier, 45 pounds. You can look up, there's many great weighted vests out there. Just obviously, like with anything, look up reviews. Find one that fits well, fits tight to the body, one that would allow you to run if you wanted to run. But with that, guys, I'm telling you that these hikes are great enough. So, like I said, guys, I can't recommend this type of cardio enough. Like I said, I get to be out here, walk Bella every day with me, get some time outside on the trail, and without, I love running, I love also running in this, but even on my runs off, it's nice to have a lower fatigue building form of cardio that when I'm in a phase trying to really maximize strength, maximize muscle building, this is extremely conducive to that. And it's a lot of fun to do. So highly recommend this, guys. If you could, please go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Leave any comments or questions down below. All glory to God. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day.